Hey guys, would you hire a candidate with salary expectations much lower than the average market rates? Well, I would say yes, of course. Businesses around the world are trying to maximize their revenues by optimizing their costs. They register companies in states that have more welcoming tax policies. They cut off their office expenses to embrace remote work, just for one simple reason: to get more profit. And that's absolutely normal. But one of the most common solutions that businesses come up with is favoring lower paid hires. And that's absolutely rational. That seems absolutely rational, at least until you start thinking more about it. Today, I have a theory to discuss with you guys. I've spent several years working in tech companies, and I tend to believe now that lower paid hires might harm your business more than you think. Let me walk you through my thought process here. When a prospective hire is requesting salary that is much lower than the average market rates, I start thinking about the reasons why they're doing this, and it seems a little bit suspicious to me because it raises a lot of different questions in my head. Did they do their homework before applying for this position at all? Or did they research the market to see what other companies are offering for similar positions? And did they look you up on Glassdoor to see what you usually offer to your employees? And if they didn't, it might as well be a sign of their intellectual laziness. Do you think they're going to be more engaged with working at your company when they didn't even bother to put in any additional effort when it came to their own profit? Would you trust this person with your team or your company? And these are the questions that are very important to ask when it comes to hiring managers and leaders. Another question that pops up in my head is if they're not aware of salary trends for their position, are they aware of the trends in their industry, technologies, and domain? People with a very low income cannot afford to attend expensive trainings to hone their skills. Neither can they attend costly conferences where they can network and socialize with leading experts in their fields. And don't take me wrong, not only do I mean the financial side of that, but also the time. Can they afford to spend time learning new things, networking, or are they forced to get constant side hustles to sustain their families? Can they ever afford to rest and recharge, or are they running on a hamster wheel? As a person working in tech industry, I believe that switching context is extremely important. You can actually look it up in the book by Harvard University professor Shirley Carson, who explains in her book that most creative ideas and solutions come to us actually when we're not directly focused on a particular problem or a task. So be sure to check it out. Besides the above, you also need to consider the way the individual is integrated into the modern world. If their level of income allows them to travel abroad and experience products and services in different countries, they can then use this experience to build something great within your company. And if they use services like, for example, Netflix or Masterclass, they most probably have the understanding of how modern companies implement content delivery in their apps. And if not, how do they integrate into the modern world? This is especially true when it comes to the candidate's understanding of quality. Have they got plenty of experience as a user themselves, or are they used to compromising quality over price? Princeton University researchers state that up to a certain level of income, a lack of money brings both emotional misery and low life evaluation. And as a result of that, they spend part of their cognitive energy worrying about their future and coming up with different ways to cover their basic needs. I can't even imagine that they spend a part of their time during work hours thinking about these things, where they could have spent this time working on your company's problems. But of course, there are situations when bringing on board a low-paid hire doesn't involve any serious risk. I can think of two situations. The first is when the tasks are not at all demanding in terms of professional expertise or creative skills. These can be very simple tasks like data entry or manual data migration or document formatting. Very basic things that can be outsourced to freelancers. The second one is when there is a non-material exchange involved in the relationship between your company and the hire. In this situation, the candidate may be a recent college graduate or a very experienced professional who is looking into changing their career path. Both are seeking to gain a particular experience that they lack and are applying for junior positions. On their end, it is a long-term investment, and they're usually willing to sacrifice their immediate income for their long-term goal. A variation of this kind of non-material exchange can be a situation when a very senior professional is looking to gain additional soft skill sort of experience, which they also lack, for example, management or leadership, and get on more additional responsibilities. In all of the cases, they will most probably request a salary which is lower than the average market rate, but there will be this non-material exchange involved, and they understand it, and you understand it, and everybody's fine with that. But be aware that once they fill in their needs, they will most probably not be willing to stay with you on the same terms. And getting back to my first point, if they're not intellectually lazy, they will do their homework and research the market and decide to move on to chase better opportunities. At this point, I encourage you to be extremely sensible and figure out the right timing when to raise this kind of conversation with them to reconsider their terms. If you decide to let them go, consider the cost of training a new hire to replace them until they're fully ramped up and efficient. From my personal experience, I can say that it might take up to 3 or even 6 months for a person to ramp up on their tech project. Having to fill in vacant spots all the time might be really exhausting for your team, because it does take people a lot of time to build a relationship and figure out the ways of collaborating effectively with one another. Great teams that work well are the ones where people spend years and years working together. An example that I can think of is the Basecamp team. They are a relatively small company making millions and millions of dollars in revenue each year. And their co-founder, James Fried, tweeted just recently that out of current 56 people, 33 have been with them for over 5 years. So avoid falling prey to employee turnover, because it might cost you more than it seems. And to recap this, consider all the questions above that I shared with you today. When you see a candidate with salary expectations lower than the market rate, it might help you to get better understanding of the candidate's personality as well as their motivation. Also remember to assess your risks with each particular candidate individually, and remember that chasing immediate profit might mean a lot of missed opportunities for your business in the future. When assessing your hiring budget, keep in mind your own motivation, whether you want to build a long-term beneficial relationship or not. And instead of focusing on immediate profit, try to focus more on building a great team that works together well and that will lead you to success. And for today, that's it. Thank you very much for watching and listening to my theory. I'm really interested to learn what you guys think about it. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye-bye.